Good morning. Can I just say how nice it is to be able to gather here today safely. I would like to thank Dave Green and the American Legion for inviting me to speak here today on such an important day. Being asked to speak on such an important and meaningful occasion is such an honor. And with that, choosing what I wanted to speak about today wasn't a quick task. I racked my brain about what I wanted to speak about, and all of a sudden, one word came to mind: courage. Over the past 14 months, we have all been through so much. And from that, my understanding of courage has changed and developed greatly. We went through a time where it wasn't safe for us to go out and about, a time where something we could only see under a microscope was hurting so many, a time of mask wearing and hand sanitizing. Going through that time wasn't easy, and I'll be the first to admit, at times I was hesitant and fearful of the unknown, of the risk to my family and friends, my community, even myself. However, there are thousands of men and women who stepped up to the plate all across the country, never hesitating, only serving. These men and women remind me of the members of our military, who never hesitate in their duties and responsibilities, even when facing a new and unique enemy. These men and women served our country all across the world protecting us, and stepped up serving at home, directly helping the members of our country throughout the pandemic. Our servicemen and women have been long revered for their bravery, and even throughout a worldwide pandemic, they never wavered in their commitment to protecting and serving our country. These men and women display true courage, and their unwavering commitment provided comfort and support to our country. Throughout this past year, a phrase I've heard many times is the light at the end of the tunnel. The men and women serving our country through difficult times, both currently and throughout history, are the ones who helped us to get closer and see that light. Their bravery to go ahead of us in the dark tunnel, leading the way, brought us to where we are today, much closer to that light at the end of the tunnel. Sadly, servicemen and women continue to make the ultimate sacrifice for us to continue our way of life, in combat, conflicts, and even from COVID. According to the United States Department of Defense, over 24 of our armed forces members have perished from COVID-19 in active duty since the beginning of the pandemic. Throughout Operation Enduring Freedom, which began in October of 2001, over 2,000 service members have perished. And since the start of Operation Iraqi Freedom in March of 2003, over 4,000 men and women of our military have perished. That number became very real for our community on February 23rd, 2009, when Corporal Michael Lee Main, a graduate from this very school behind me, made the ultimate sacrifice. These men and women are the epitome of courage. And that is why it is so important that we gather here today, and why it is so important that we are able to gather here today, to honor all of those who have died while serving our great nation. Our nation has 3 days dedicated to honoring the men and women of our military: Veterans Day to honor those who have served, Armed Forces Day to honor those currently serving, and Memorial Day to honor those who have died while serving. While all 3 days are very important to honor the members of our military, Memorial Day stands out from the rest. Today is devoted to honoring, preserving the memory, and paying our respects to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for us to continue our way of life. As all of our servicemen and women are, they are willing to lay down their own life for the safety of ours. Men and women we may never know or ever meet, willing to lay down their own life for those they may never know. Today we focus on those who have paid that price and laid down their lives. It is that courage they display that makes it paramount for us to pay our respects to them, for their devotion and selflessness. Furthermore, this occasion begs us to remember and pay our respects to the families of those who have lost a loved one in service. The Gold Star families who will be missing a member at their barbecues and gatherings this afternoon. The parents who have mourned such an incredible loss. We must remember to thank them for their sacrifice and support them as they sacrifice their loved one to serve and protect our way of life. Thank you to our Gold Star families for your sacrifice and continued sacrifices. As you go about your day today, enjoying it with friends and family, remember those who are serving today. And even more, remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for us to be able to live our lives freely in these great United States. Remember the families of those who have lost a loved one in the line of duty and the sacrifices they too have made for us to continue our way of life and for our country. While today it is especially important to remember those men and women, today is not the only day to think about them. Think about them every day as you go about your day. Remember those who have made it possible for us to live our lives. In the speech I gave here 3 years ago today, I ended with a quote from Ronald Reagan. Today I will do the same. This time from his 1985 Veterans Day ceremony national remarks. He said, "We see these soldiers in our mind as old and wise, but most of them were boys when they died, and they gave up 2 lives, the one they were living and the one they would have lived. When they died, they gave up their chance to be husbands and fathers and grandfathers. They gave up their chance to be revered old men. They gave up everything for our country, for us, and all we can do is remember." And that is what we shall never stop doing, remembering them. May God bless our troops, and may God bless America. Thank you, and stay safe.
Awesome.